Hey guys, so we are doing another video. This time a video about importance of acceptance, especially for me being autistic. I'm talking in general, but yeah, let's get right to it. I would say this. Before I get to the real topic, what I'm really talking about, it's really important to be accepted by a person to accept you for who you are, because that really matters a lot of times in my opinion, because that really comes down to that dictates how a person can treat you. Because when a person accepts you for who you are, then chance you will get treated the way it will be cut down. But when a person don't really accept you for who you are, yikes. Yeah. It's important for everybody in general to be accepted, especially for person around them, the family, the friends, cousins, to accept you for who you are. Because that, like I said, that really dictates how they treat you. Anywhere you go, like workplace, school, it's important to accept, for others to accept you. Now, it really starts with you. You have to accept yourself first before you get others to accept you. Everything starts with you. So you have to learn to accept yourself first. That's really key. Everything starts with you. So you should start with that. It's a rarity a person accepts you, then you accept yourself. It's a rarity if it happens. So I realized that it's really important for me to accept myself where I am and to raise me before I go then try to look for acceptance and things like that. Now, as I go along, I didn't accept was that opponent because I've always wondering, why we treat differently. And then I realized, oh, so the only way I won't be treated different as much is if persons around me accept me for who I am and things like that. And then that's where I realized at that point, acceptance is the key. And now everything else comes along with it. Because I would say this, nowadays, anytime I hear a person say, look, I accept you for who you are, continue being yourself, don't do this or that, just be you. It really means a lot to me, especially me being an artist, that, I mean, listen, for a person to tell me, listen, I accept you for you are, that you are who you are, and things like that. It really means a lot, because a lot of times I wonder if person accept me for who I am a lot of times, man, because based on person's actions, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. A lot of times, it's confusing. So I'm like, me personally, I'm like, say what he say to me, then, yeah, it's really important. It really means a lot, though. I would say that for sure, to be accepted, guys. Because then, if you're comfortable around me, then that says me, oh, so then I can be myself around it. Then I don't have to shortchange myself. I don't have to be conservative. Just of being who I am, things like that, basically. And I would say it's a person with exceptionalities and things like that versus my caliber. It's important to go around persons who accept you for you. It's not easy to pick it up. Takes a while. How a person treats you really matters. If you feel like you have to walk on eggshells most of the time, that's problematic. You should be wondering to yourself, why the heck am I walking on eggshells for? So I mean, like I said in my last video, the fitting in thing not working out. Don't take to do is just be myself. And I try have multiple options, but if you're going to have one option, you better make sure that one option works in the long run and not just in the short term. Because a person can have one option and then it may work in the short term, but long term, not so much. So, as a lot of times, person can see me, and especially any environment I've gone to, a person can say, oh, and listen, I just want the small things means a lot to me. It means a lot, the small things. Even as if I can, as if me being myself around you means a lot to me. You know what? Get me? Uh, that really, that means I don't have to walk on eggshells. And if I get to a feeling where I don't have to walk on eggshells, and I'm at a peaceful place mentally, that regardless of what's going on, all I have to just be myself. Then, and I feel comfortable around you, the person I'm talking about, then, like there's a time where I'll be around surroundings, and if a group is there already, before I ever sit down, I will stand up and do my thing up to if I even have a conversation, I'll have a conversation when I'm standing up first. And if I know you and I know the group, I'll just come and sit down. But other times, refers proceed groups, so different sets of person in a group. I probably, you know. So I mean, I would say persons with exceptionalities, I think being accepted really means a lot because for Jamaicans to take long enough to accept persons with exceptionalities or disabilities, this for they take Jamaica this long to implement things in place for accommodate persons that might care about this and that. I'm probably like, you gotta be kidding me, you know? Huh? At the end of the day, we're all humans. It's like a lot of times, to be frank, it's almost like you see us as monsters or something, if you know we're not, or aliens or something. Because only aliens and monsters get treated differently, in my opinion. If you're not, if you, that's where at times it comes across. Some person may say that's not the case, but you, it's like I watched this series called Supergirl, and this I mean season 4 now, and I can tell you this season 4 is being crazy as heck. Now you talk about humans and aliens and how they treated. Me watching that season just kind of reminds me of myself to a certain extent. Cause like once I figured out that back in April or whatever that I was the most intimidated person at Money College, I was like, oh, so I guess I'm a monster then. I'm not human. I guess I'm a monster. You guys can comment down below and tell me what you think, but you guys can comment down below. However, I'm just like, oh, I guess I'm a monster then. Yikes. Because like I said, only aliens and monsters and them things get treated differently for the most part. I mean, you can say they're not the only ones. You can say humans get treated differently too, but the effects of to compare how monsters and aliens and persons with exceptionalities get treated, it's not even close, in my opinion. So it's not a comparison. The effects of it ain't the same. Um, Most of the times when I get into a new environment, and this is one of the reasons it means a lot to me because I always had this feeling of being a concern about being treated differently anywhere I go. So that's another reason because trying to hide it, and it's a scary part. I was being treated differently, and that was the time I didn't even know I was artistic at the time. It was scary as heck. I'm like, yes, imagine if I tell them. But at some point, you have to embrace who you are, embrace. If you have superpowers, let's say you're watching a series. No, watching Supergirl, what I don't understand is, I can't answer the reason why, but it kind of makes sense to a certain extent. The fact that you can't really tell persons, let's say you have superpowers, right? And you can't really tell persons about it because you're scared that how they see you a bit differently and things like that. Again, this goes back to the acceptance thing. If that person cares about you, they'll accept it regardless. It shouldn't like even it shouldn't matter if you have superpowers or not. They should accept it regardless. If they're your friend, they'll accept it regardless and look up for you more. You know? Uh, this is the movie I just talk about. It's not easy to tell persons that person know of certain thing that you have. You get me? Because a lot of times, even when you tell the truth, depending on the person around, they may see it in a different light. That's why I was scared to tell a person about my autism at first because I was scared that they may see me at a different light. And when I was at camp, and after I did my testimony, I said to some persons, they said, oh, means saying da 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 da, means saying I'm autistic, change anything. Because I know how a person, because if you can understanding how a person's perception things, it takes a while. You have to watch the action first before you can come up with conclusion of their perception of you. It takes a while to pick it up. And you have to look out for patterns and consistency before you can, and certain things before you can know how a person thinks after a while. It takes time to know how a person thinks. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, as I was saying, I was hesitating at first, but at some point I had to get to a place where I had to embrace, embrace my autism. Hey, I always say this for in the video. I'm grateful for a good friend of mine for saying to me that my autism is my superpower. Yikes, that really changed anything. Even when I did the radio interview last year, I said the last part when I end the interview, I said autism is my superpower. What's yours? I'm gonna do a video and story time about that phrase in particular because where you get from. Just share the clip. So as I said, um, me being accepted really means a lot, like I said, because as I said before, because everywhere I go, it's like I was have this fear being treated differently. Heck, I could go to US and I go to a new environment and I still have that feeling. Or I could go to Canada or wherever, or in the workplace. It's hard for person with exception to get a job. Now, unless of course you go to a workplace where persons know how to deal with persons with exceptions and with disability, that is that, especially a person with autism in particular, then for being in a workplace like that, you're in luck. So all I really can say is that look, all persons with autism and other exceptional needs is a chance to prove that they can bring something awesome to this world and to make opportunities to make an impact, especially to society. So, my video. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week as well. May God bless y'all.